As the last movie, part 16, touched upon, Jesus is already now starting to use the metaverse and the Jesus verse to give his children deeply immersive experiences that will end up highlighting a choice they have. One, soon people will know they are deliberately choosing to live in a less Jesus, low Jesus, no Jesus, Jesus receding virtual and physical world of their own making, patterned after the normal U.S. Antichrist, all is well in Zion, Babylon cult culture that we inherited from our parents and our grandparents in the metaverse, an old culture. Or people will know that they can instead choose and have chosen to live in a more Jesus, high Jesus, Jesus
High
increasing,
Jesus,
virtual and
Jesus
physical
increasing,
world, created
virtual
by
and
Jesus, physical world created by Jesus and angels and themselves in the Jesus verse, a new culture. The emergence of the Jesus verse as a viable alternative to the metaverse will frame this as a choice in such a way that people will know deep down they are making a choice to get used to normal Antichrist culture or get used to a new Jesus-centric culture. The obvious will become inescapable thanks to the power of these two new tools, the metaverse and the Jesus verse. No more fence sitting. Jesus' personal kindness is manifest in the various and multitude ways that Jesus will accommodate each of his children's respective needs for custom-fit living parables. It is one thing to learn about the parable of the talents. It is another, much, much more immersive and personally affecting thing to have Jesus teach you about the parable of the talents or the widow's mite or the parable of the Good Samaritan in a way that is direct, in a way that you are actually living out in some way, an approximation, a very personal approximation of these Jesus parables. Would you like to not just read about the children of Israel being slaves delivered out of Egypt to a promised land by Moses, but actually have Jesus do a complete modern reframe where Jesus sets you up with a custom fit situation in your modern life that allows you to feel every bit as much as a slave as the children of Israel were, and to feel every bit as much that Jesus, like Moses, is coming into your life to fight your battles with miracles, like Moses fought Pharaoh, to set you free, where Jesus opens up in your life a Red Sea approximation, where Jesus reframes your life dramatically in such a way that you feel every bit as much as the children of Israel felt like Jesus has parted the Red Sea for you to escape your captors and delivers you into a wilderness approximation where you will start living a manna plan, where Jesus feeds you every day as he takes you day after day on a journey to a promised land. A living parable that makes you want to sing, I once was lost, now I'm found. I once was blind, now I see. And not just that parable, but Jesus, if you're willing, can reframe just for you each of the major parables. And he will, if you don't resist him. The parable of the sower, the parable of the talents, the parable of the prodigal son, the parable of the Good Samaritan, parable of the mustard seed, parable of the 10 virgins, parable of the rich man, parable of the Lazarus, parable of Lehi and Nephi leaving Jerusalem, and more. Now, when Jesus sets up your life to live out these parables, if you let him, and when you live them out with Jesus, understand that normal people around you are, one, not going to believe that Jesus is really setting up for you personally an actual 100% reframe of the biblical parables. They are going to think that you are wresting the scriptures for your own purpose, meaning just making stuff up. Second, they really won't care. And Jesus says, that's okay, because that allows you to live out the most other people don't care about my relationship with Jesus parable. In that parable, the wise person follows the spirit of Article Faith 11. The foolish person gets tied up in knots and stops deliberately living out Jesus's parables with Jesus and the angels. There you go. That is part 17. Part 17 that Jesus The title is Part 17, Reframe, Jesus's Living Parables option. You have an option for living parables. What do you think? We'll be doing this in the Jesus verse.